Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. This is my haul from MECCA. MECCA is a creative reuse store in Eugene, Oregon. You know that I'm really hooked on these creative reuse stores. It's super fun to pack up a bag of donations if you're somebody like me who acquires in bulk or just has too much stuff and should share. I can take a bag and then I come back with quantity-wise less stuff, but stuff I'm excited about. Andrea and I went Saturday and she spent a little more than I did, but we both found treasures. Let me show you what I picked up. I picked up an unopened bottle of Ranger texture paste for $4.25. I think that's probably pretty good, and I wanted some. The only texture paste I have is a really small tube from a class. I know there are great pointers on how to make your own. I don't want to make my own, so I just picked this up and have the bottle and I'm good to go. I figure since it's sealed, it's probably fine. And it's packaging that's familiar, so it's probably not 20 years old. I also picked up this clear embossing ink boss gloss, and it's in like a stamper, like a bingo dauber type thing. I'm not even sure it's ever been opened. I don't think it has. I bet I pop off the top and break a seal. It was $2. In my Smash That Small Paper Pad process video, you will see that I tried to use this on a stencil. It's a roller ball, and the idea is it's a refill, but they gave you a roller ball to give you some creative options. It didn't work great on a stencil. Andrea has a nail polish version that I should have picked up at the same time. But we saw this and she said, hey, this. And I said, great, I'll take it. So I think that'll be better for stencils and other things where I'm trying to apply it in a certain area. Definitely better than the roller ball. It just didn't put enough on. And a roller ball leaves a track where the ball rolls. The last bottle, we bought this ink. We were waiting our turn to look in the Rit dye drawer that someone was looking in. And Andrea saw that this was blue right here. So we just bought it. It says noir right on it. So I don't think that's going to go well for me, but maybe I need some black ink for something, or maybe Andrea does. I didn't see that until right before I started the video. Look at this tiny little mini album. Okay, mini album, tag book, tags that are already punched in a cute shape. I just thought, sure, I'll take it. 50 cents. Keller's Creations was a brand in my area many years ago, and they usually had good stuff. I liked it. So this is textured paper, which is interesting because we don't do a lot of that anymore. And they're thinner than I expected. Either a tag book or I can glue two back to back and thicken them up. It was just too cute not to buy it. And you know, I decided I need a place in my room for mini album kits because otherwise they're never going to get made. But look, wouldn't that be a fun little flip through of a new baby, or for somebody's graduation, you could have a bunch of their first day of school pictures. I mean, the options here are endless. Or if you're one of those people that swatches ink and stuff, you could just do something like that. Look at this. Basic gray petals. In, what year are we? 2011. Basic Gray came out with these die cut, kind of wobbly looking paper mixed fabric things. And you can take them and layer them. You can curl them up pretty well. You can ink the edges. I'm sure I have some on scrapbook pages. I've never had one with a frog before. And they're just fun. Some are circles, some are ovals. If nothing else, it just reminds you to take your papers and fabric and get creative. See, this one's fabric with text on it. This one's fabric with the frog. This one's a green and script. 75 cents. Yeah, I think that's worth it and fun. Look at that bird one. I like that one. They don't necessarily go with any of the Basic Gray collections that I have, but I just thought it was fun. Then look, last time I went there, which was in the spring, I believe, I picked up a blue version of these, and here's the red one. Little tiny vellum envelopes. How cute is that? Journal pages, embellishment clusters, happy mail. I don't know. I really couldn't send you much. a bird stencil. This is what I was thinking. Bird journal coming up, texture paste, bird stencil. It's a very thin stencil, like it's the folk art plaid ones. It was really made to go with paint. So if I have any troubles using texture paste with it because it's thick and there's details, I'll just use ink or paint and it'll be cute. I really like this bird. If I use this one, I won't put the oval around it. Remember, it's your stencil. You don't have to dauber all over it. You can just take the bird itself. Not really into these. This one I might use sometime. They don't have like modern art journaling stencils there. They do have a lot of stencils for numbers and letters. Andrea went through this other section that's like photography paper and reams of paper, not in the craft paper at all. And she did a great job looking through there. And she found 15 sheets of vellum, polka dots, 3 sizes of polka dots, a stripe, and then a swirl. I love patterned vellum. It's great for stamping on. It's great for making envelopes with. It's fun to have in your stash. And there was a pastel. She showed me a package of not patterned, but pastel vellum. I didn't pick that up because, let's be honest, I only wanted the blue. But $2, 15 sheets of vellum, I'm in. Then in the cardstock paper, it's all loose. And the selection at MECCA was, I would say, 2/3, maybe even half of what it was the last time I was there. The last time I was there, there were bins on the ground in the paper crafting section full of probably vendor donated new packages and different things. And then there were way more on the shelves. There were actually empty shelves in the paper crafting section. Still, had a great time. Got down on my knees, went through the rack a little, and then said, that's enough. This one has giant butterflies, and then the other side is green. I thought this might be nice in a journal. It's a little thin, but this page would work fine for journaling on. I picked up a couple of those. I think it's like $5 for $1 or 25 cents. I don't know. It's not unreasonable. Giant moth butterfly things, and then green. I picked this up because the second I spotted it, I was like, oh, that goes with my wisteria paper pad. It just has these little tiny leaves on a really nice purple paper. So I'm going to stick that in my basic gray. And the branding strip was cut off, but the second I saw it, I was like, oh, I will take that. These, a long time ago, I used to buy a lot of papers like this. I preferred the thicker ones with a busy pattern on the outside and then a solid on this side, and that's what it made me think of. And then I would fold them and make cards. This one isn't going to work for that because it's not thick enough and the inside is patterned. But if you don't have a lot of stuff in your stash, that is a great way to make a card. A light solid color on one side that you can write on as the inside, and then you use it to make your card base, and then you decorate the front. So you don't have to have fancy cardstock all the time. And if you do that, it works better if you make a card like this. So if you make a vertical card, make it with this style where it flips open, not this. It's not going to stand up nice, but you can totally pull it off with this. In the old days, we made all our vertical cards like this. We didn't cut them this way. This is like the trendy way. Either way, the card comes out the same. Anyway, that's not the point. I bought these to fussy cut. Somehow they spoke to me and said, you should fussy cut me and use me. Okay. The colors are an odd choice for me, aren't they? Maybe I'll use circle punches if I'm feeling lazy, but I don't know. They just looked fun for making embellishments. And 25 cents for all those embellishments, plus it'll take me hours to cut them out. Look at this. Andrea was tired. She was shopping in the stamps, and there was one overfilled bin of clear. In fact, can I say this? I did. I rearranged their display a bit because they had empty bins, and then the clear stamps were overfilled. So I took another bin and separated their clear stamps so they had more. There were probably 3 tubs of woodblock stamps and then this one of clear. She missed this, but you know, I miss stuff all the time shopping, so it's okay. This doesn't seem like it's probably a great brand, but if any of these stamped nice, it was totally worth $1. The earth has music for those who listen. all good things are wild and free, and there's birds and butterflies. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is definitely a stamp set that I will use. And this dragonfly and the flowers, really, really cute. Let's try one out and see how they work. A very inexpensive brand of stamps does not stamp as well. I mean, it's not that you have to pay the absolute most for everything, but sometimes in stamps you get what you pay for. And that's why I still buy a lot of those old, let's see if she can get the Stampin' Up pad open. Hello, I would like to tell Stampin' Up, I'm not in love with these new pads. Okay, so I still like those old red rubber stamps. They stamp nicely. Let's just try this on the back of a Post-it. And like I said, if one doesn't work great from the set, we'll still do okay. This, I do not think, has ever been used. It's not taking the ink very well. So I probably need to hit it with an archival ink. Okay, it's not terrible, little goopy. I'm going to clean it off right now while we're talking. And this is a good way, like if you're hauling and you're unloading, you know, you can prep your stamp at the same time. If you know it's something that you want to use later, maybe that day, maybe that week, you just want to get it ready. I am not one of those people that believes that stamps last longer or work better if they're kept spotless. That's not what I believe. And I think if you ask Tim Holtz, he's with me on that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take, I have dirty stamps on both sides of the block, so we're having some troubles. I'm going to take my archival ink in black. It doesn't matter what color it is. And I'm going to put it on this stamp. And I'm going to let it dry. And what that does is it just dirties up that stamp so that it takes a little bit of ink and it will sit better. And then I'll wash it later today. But I'm just going to let it sit. Actually, I'm going to stamp it off, but then I'm not going to wash it. So it's a little thinner layer. Oh, there we go. See, it's getting there. Brand new stamps, sometimes they do a little better with archival anyway. That Stampin' Up pad was just too overwhelming for a stamp that wasn't taking ink great. There we go. I'm going to let that dry with just a hint of a layer of archival. That thing's going to be beautiful. Well worth $1 for sure. And so I like all good things are wild and free, and the earth has music for those who listen. And then it has the little music notes there. I don't really have musical note things to play off of it, but I do have this as a star. Keep in mind, we didn't need a thing. I did want bead tools. What do you call them? Jewelry making tools, but I didn't expect to find those in a donation situation, because if you think of it, bead people, they buy thousands of beads, they buy one set of tools. So even if they do get donated, they probably go pretty quick. Okay, this seems to be origami paper, I think. Design paper, the vintage flower. I don't know, made in Japan. I don't know if this was like an inexpensive product at like a Daiso or if it's fancy. I don't care, it's pretty and I would pay $3. Not really into that one. This one, I think, is a navy background. Cheryl, are you looking at that? Look at that. Okay, then, oh my gosh. It has birds. It's purple. Super excited. Andrea and I plan to share this. There was more than one pack, but we didn't think that we needed 2 packs. Not because of the price, just literally we didn't need to. Look at this one with the birds. When I saw this, I was like, oh yeah. I tell you, I'm going to have to make more than one bird journal because I keep finding too much good stuff. And then, so this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in this pack and I'm probably going to donate it. I'm going to let it make someone else happy, unless it's probably too pink for Andrea, but she might like it. And then I think her and I will split up the good ones, or maybe she thinks this one is good and then she can have all of it. Then the other thing, I looked at this and I was like, 50 cents. Yeah, I don't care, right? I just want it. It is, I think, a similar paper. It's an origami paper and they're all the same. And there's 5 of them. So 10 cents a piece, is that the best deal ever? No, but in a retail scrapbooking place, would you pay 50 cents for this gorgeousness if you wanted to make something blue and silver? Yes, all day long. And it's a very delicate paper, so I am going to put it back in its cute little package. There wasn't much 6x6, so I just had fun and was digging through the paper. And then finally I was like, I gotta stop looking in the paper because, you know, I have plenty of paper. I show you almost everything I make. I show you just about everything that comes in. Sometimes I mess up and forget. So you know that there's a stash in here. Okay, the last thing I picked up, I spent a total of $21. And the last thing I picked up was envelopes. And envelopes in a place like this are kind of, what's the YouTube proper wild card? Let's say wild card, because the other one, you know, isn't maybe so appropriate. These are a little yellowed. These are really white. They're all A2. In places like this, I just walk over and find a ruler somewhere and measure just to be sure, because you can get off track pretty easy. This is mine that I purchased, and you can see these are a little more yellow, but the ones I bought last time, if you've gotten a card from me, my logo shows through on the card, and that kind of bothers me. They just weren't the best quality ever. I don't think these are either. These feel a little thicker maybe, or exactly the same. They might even be thicker. So what you do is they have sections in the store. It's a little intimidating if you haven't been there before. See, they're yellow. Or it's like a pay what you want. This is a place that I would support and want to donate. So I think I paid like $2 something or $3. We rounded the transaction for these envelopes. And, you know, this is a place that I want them to make it. So I don't know what I would have paid at Scrap PDX. I think at Scrap PDX, they're like 20 for $1. But I started counting here and I got bored. Like, it's at least 50, I think. If you guys want to count, you can stop the video and count them. Okay, that's what I picked up. I'm going to put my stuff away. I'm trying to do a really good job putting stuff away when I bring it home. And I'll text Andrea and see what we're going to share here. Well, she might have to see this video first. Then I'm just putting stuff in my donate pile as I go. And I was really impressed because, again, I took a big shopping bag and I just came home with a few key items. And I think that's what you should do. Share with your grandkids, share with whoever, so that you're not just accumulating and hoarding. If something's not bringing you joy, give it to someone who will use it. I am having a great weekend, and when you see this, it won't be the weekend anymore. And we'll all be a little sad, but then the weekend will come again. I hope you're taking time for crafting and relaxing. Bye-bye.